Hello and buenas. Today is Wednesday, also known as Hump Day, and we have made it thus far. We have a couple of more days to go before the MLK 3-day weekend, so I hope you guys are making it okay. So I had a request to talk about healthy snacks, and so I think that's going to be our topic for today. Thank you, Pinette. Shout out to you for coming up with that. It has been a journey, making sure I get all my calories in. I am doing really well with staying under, but I'm staying too far under, I feel like. And that's partially because I'm not incorporating a lot of snacks. Like I said before, I am such an advocate about not wasting stuff. And so I've been kind of trying to eat and get rid of the things that I have in my house before going out to buy new stuff. And I have a pretty significant amount of stuff that I can get away with, mostly like proteins and whatever. But I did have some snacks that I am trying to eat up. But I have been buying fresh produce, so I'm incorporating that. But I wanted to cover 12 healthy snacks that you can depend on, because it's easy sometimes to think, what am I going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? But when you get hungry in between those times, what are some good things to eat? Now, I told you that my friend was talking about how the grapes, she was eating a bunch of grapes because I was talking about how high they are in water content. So high water content foods often keep you fuller longer. So she was eating grapes saying, I'm not feeling full. That's because that's all she was eating. But when you incorporate those in as a snack, they will help get you from one meal to the next a lot better than, say, a candy bar or some chips or something like that, which is why we're talking about, relying on the healthy snacks. Okay, so these are my 12 healthy snacks that I like to go to. Definitely comment below telling us what your favorite ones are if I missed something, but these are mine. So and not in any particular order, but I just thought about them as I was, whatever. So watermelon, grapes, kiwi, any kind of fruit. I dig fruit. I have always loved fruit, especially with trying to lose weight. I tend to go to those with high water content, like watermelon, grapes. The berries are always a go-to. I like to incorporate berries in smoothies and stuff, but just straight up eating as a snack, a really, really good one is to mix all the berries, the strawberries, the blackberries, the blueberries, and the raspberries together, especially if you get really good crops of them. Nothing beats it. You don't have to add anything. You can just eat it straight out of your container. I also like number 2 is veggies and hummus. I particularly like the roasted red pepper hummus. Sometimes a garlic hummus will do great. It's an easy thing to make on your own if you want to control how much sodium and all that other stuff you get into it. But it's pretty expensive. It's getting expensive to buy, but depending on how often you're going to eat it, you may invest in trying to make it on your own. But I like to eat it with like peppers or carrots. Sometimes I like a raw piece of broccoli, but I tend to like to cook my broccoli. But it's a really good go-to. The next one is number 3, and it is kind of controversial in that it's high in salt. And there are a few of them that are high in sodium, but everything in moderation is kind of good. Beef jerky is my number 3, and I like beef jerky because it's that protein kick. I have a lot of hard time sometimes getting in the amount of protein, fiber that I need. I don't have a problem with the carbs or the sugar. The protein and the fiber are what's hard for me to make sure I have enough of. I feel like I'm not looking at you guys. I don't know. The camera's, I don't know, somewhere. But beef jerky is a really, really good one. It makes you feel like you've actually eaten something. I like to buy the 100-calorie packs, and the one that I love, the jalapeno one, it's really good. I like spicy, and the sweet and hot are my go-tos, but it actually makes you feel like you've eaten something. Maybe it's the chewing that, you get a workout with that, so you feel accomplished in the amount that you get, but you get a pretty significant amount of beef jerky in a 100, calorie serving. So that's a really good snack. Number 4 could be 2 different snacks, but I just put them together. Number 4 is trail mix and nuts. All kinds of nuts are really great. I tend to stick with raw almonds as a snack, but I like to incorporate nuts in my other foods. Like my breakfast, I like pecans or walnuts in my yogurt parfaits or oatmeal. So nuts are good though. Buy them for snacks as well. Pistachios, I like pistachios. Pistachios. That's how I say it. Pistachios are really good. The sweet chili ones are good. That's a great snack. Trail mix also. You know, any kind of trail mix that you like. I tend to get the ones that don't have chocolate in them when I'm trying to be conscious of my weight. Number five. Number five actually will give you a high bang for your buck if you do it right. Number five is popcorn. Popcorn is one of those things that, you know, you get a lot for a few calories. And if you do it without butter or oil, that is, you get a lot for a few calories. And you can do things to change the flavor of popcorn without adding too many calories. My friend Natty Boo, who I've spoken about before, has turned me on to this Mrs. Dash seasoning. It's a tomato, I think tomato and garlic spice that is really good on popcorn. Incidentally, it's good on scrambled eggs as well. I think I've put it on my salad, other things, but it's a Mrs. Dash. I think I put a picture of it up here so that you guys can see what I'm talking about, but it's delicious on popcorn and it gives it a different taste and flavor. And popcorn is one of those things that will adopt whatever flavor you give to it, so you can play with it, but it is a good snack that you will get a lot of for 100 calories, so that it can go farther in making you feel full in between meals, satisfied in between meals. Number six is another one of those high sodium foods, but is really tasty, especially when they're super, super cold and spicy. Pickles. I like pickles, the dill pickles. The more spice makes it more nice. But you have to be careful because of the high sodium content. They really are like maybe 20 calories for a spear, or 40 calories for a full fat daddy pickle. It's another thing that you get a lot for the calorie amount, but the sodium content is super high. So you got to be careful of that. Number seven is hard-boiled eggs. And I like the hard-boiled egg as a snack because it is a good shot of protein for you. It's easily portable in its own shell, but when you have to work for it, you have to put a little work in peeling it. I feel like it's more rewarding. I don't know. But, you dip it with a little tahini or lemon pepper. I also like just regular black pepper and salt. Is super good on a hard-boiled egg. Number 8 is yogurt. I like the Noosa yogurt. It is pretty high in calories because, well, for a snack to me, it's like 180 calories because it's made from whole milk. But they've got really, really good flavors, and I like it a lot. If you want to kind of cut that down as a snack, buy the bigger packs. I'm thinking of the individual ones. Even at the individual ones, you could probably get 2 servings for a snack. But buy the bigger packs, like the 48 ounce or 32 ounce containers, so that you can control how much you eat. Eat a half a cup as opposed to a full cup to lessen the calories. Add the berries, add some, a sprinkle of nuts or something to make it more fulfilling. But I think that makes a really good snack as well. Number 9 is something that I recently discovered, but I really like them. And they're crunchy chickpeas. Chickpeas, garbanzo beans, whatever you want to call them. I like this because you can roast them in your oven. I buy it in the can form. You can also buy pre-roasted chickpeas. I know I've seen them at Trader Joe's. I think I've seen them in the grocery store, maybe Sprouts. I don't know if regular ones, but chickpeas, roasted chickpeas, the crunchy chickpeas. I like those too because as you're roasting them, you can give them whatever flavor you want. Ranch, wasabi, whatever. I don't want to get into the Forrest Gump talking about shrimp with Bubba Gump, or with Bubba. He wasn't a Gump, but you get the drift. You can do whatever you want with them. Number 10 is like a meat and cheese or meat and crackers. I'm not a fan of cheese, so I don't eat a lot of cheese, but I do like to get the pre-cut hard salami. with some crackers. I tend to like Ritz or whatever. You can only eat like 5 of those in a serving, but depending on how hungry you are, how many calories you have to spend on a snack, that's a really good one that you can have. It's that protein kick as well. I don't think the meat is too high in calories, but it's good. I like it. Try it if you haven't. You can do your meat and cheese. You can actually take a piece of ham and roll it up with a piece of cheese and call it crazy if you want, but I don't like cheese, so I don't do that. Number 11 is actually another veggie. It's the mini sweet peppers. I love those things. Now you can pair these with hummus, or I just kind of like to eat them as they are. No additives, no nothing, just crunch and munch, Number 12 is also a veggie, and it's a cucumber. Cucumbers are super low in calories, high in water content, but I like to mix the cucumbers with Italian dressing or like onions and tomato, and then add some balsamic, make like a little salad. You could also do like a little salad with cucumbers, cucumbers and tomatoes, or you can just do tomatoes and the mozzarella balls with balsamic. That's really good. It's kind of more of a salad thing, but tomatoes, onions, and balsamic vinegar is kind of the salad. I really like that when you use the red onions. That could be a side dish, but you can also just have it as a little snack, especially if you're using a lower calorie dressing like the balsamic or whatever. And if you don't get too crazy with the mozzarella, I like to buy the mozzarella pearl balls when I'm doing that. And if you cut them in half, a little goes a long way, or in quarters even, a little goes a long way. And you have, that to spread out in the mixture that you're making with the tomatoes and the onions, or just do tomatoes and mozzarella, whatever you choose. Those are some healthy snacks. Just like everything else, though, you have to measure your snacks. You got to be precise with what you're eating, because a little here and a little there is going to add up in calories. So just like your regular meals, make sure you're pre-planning and prepping your snacks. I like to, when I'm doing my meal prep, I kind of try to do, if I don't do a full week out, which makes it easier for me when I'm cooking, if I'm doing day to day, the day before I'm going to have it, I will pre-package all my snacks along with deciding what I'm going to have for breakfast and lunch, because I usually eat breakfast and lunch at work, and then dinner is here. And I usually already know what I'm going to eat for dinner through the week because I prep on Sundays. So as far as all of that's concerned, I think that if you make sure you're prepared and have those snacks with you, whether you choose to eat them or not, always account for them in your caloric intake if you are counting calories, but make sure you have them, because there's nothing worse than feeling like you're hungry and not having anything, and then you go to the go-to bag of chips or whatever you may have, a Snickers bar or whatever. So have those snacks with you, whether you eat them or not is totally up to you. That's why I kind of like to do, I always have like some trail mix or nuts in my bag, just in case, because those things, will last a long time. Another snack that, if you are careful, is pretty good to have on hand is dark chocolate. I do like dark chocolate. Not everybody likes dark chocolate. And then they make the bark thins, which is like a prepackaged, thin bark of chocolate. And, you can get away with just taking a couple of pieces of that in a serving. I don't know how much a serving is, but I'll make sure I post it up here. But a small serving of that will do a lot to curb any like sugar cravings. I'm not too big of a chocolate fan. I like chocolate, I just don't have to have it like some people do, so it'll do it for me. Like if I'm like, oh, I need something sweet or whatever, those bark thins will do it. So find what works for you and stick with it, but above all else, be prepared. Please share what you like so that we can get more ideas, because you can never have too many ideas for snacks. And I hope you guys are having a great week. If not, decide to change that, because it is a decision. We can change how we go through this week, even when obstacles and challenges are presented with us. And above all else, I say protect your knees and protect your peace. Shani out.